Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to Driver's Side. Today we are going to be talking about 5 cars that you can import into the US in 2019. So, it's 2019, a brand new year, and with every new year there comes a new list of cars that you can import into the United States. So, for cars that were not originally intended for the US market, once they become 25 years old or older, you are allowed to import them because they no longer fall under the emissions regulations or anything like that. So, today we're going to be talking about 5 of those cars that you can now import. All of these cars are going to be from 1994 because that is the newest year that you can import. So we're going to start off the list with a German car, and that car is the Audi RS2 Avant. So when the Audi RS2 Avant came out in 1994, it was the first RS model that Audi had ever produced. It was actually co-developed with Porsche and made on a Porsche assembly line in Zuffenhausen. Because it was produced on a Porsche assembly line, naturally they used some Porsche parts when they were making the RS2, so some things like the wheels and mirrors are just shared with the 964 Porsche 911. The car had a turbo 2.2-liter inline 5-cylinder engine, which made 311 horsepower and 302 foot-pounds of torque, so it definitely did have some very respectable performance. The car was only available with a 6-speed manual transmission, and if you ask me, that's kind of the only way to drive is with a manual. And it was also using the Quattro all-wheel drive system, so the RS2 Avant is definitely a very cool car, a very cool wagon, and one of my favorite cars on this list for sure. Number 2 on the list has a 2 in its name, pretty fitting, and that is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 2. The Lancer Evo 2 came out 1 year after the original Lancer Evo, and it sported a 2-liter turbo inline 4-cylinder, the legendary 4G63. It had more power than the original Evo with 252 horsepower. It was fitted with a 5-speed manual gearbox and was all-wheel drive as well. The Evo 2 also sported a longer wheelbase, lighter sway bar, wider tires, and a bigger wing than the original Evo, so that made it a formidable rally car. Number 3 on the list is the Subaru Impreza WRX STI. So, the WRX STI came out in 1994 and was the first Subaru Technica International WRX, that's what STI stands for, and it followed the 1993 WRX. It was made to compete with the Evo 2 and definitely started a war between Subaru and Mitsubishi in the rally scene. The WRX STI sported a 2-liter turbo that made 247 brake horsepower. The new STI version also sported some really cool features for driving, such as a center differential that the driver could lock from inside the car. So the WRX STI was definitely a very cool car when it came out and proved to be a very formidable opponent for the Evo 2. Number 4 on the list is one that you guys will probably be very excited about, and that is the Nissan Skyline GTR V-Spec 2. So 1994 was the last year for the R32 GTR. In 1993, Nissan came out with the V-Spec or Victory Spec GTR, and that came with some notable upgrades such as Brembo brakes, 17-inch BBS wheels, an aluminum hood, an updated version of their Atessa all-wheel drive system, and the V-Spec 2 in 1994 added one little thing, and that was wider tires. The R32 GTR had a 2.6-liter turbo inline 6-cylinder engine called the RB26, if you've ever heard of that legendary engine before, which made 276 horsepower and 271 foot-pounds of torque. So, if you live in the US and you're a fan of the R32 GTR, you can now get the last year of it, which is also the most spec'd out version. So, number 5 on the list is probably the car with the most fun name to say, and that is the Lancia Delta Integrale Evoluzione 2, or Evo 2. So the Lancia Delta Evo 2 is probably one of the most successful Group A rally cars ever. The car won the World Rally Championship 6 times between 1987 and 1992. The car sported a 2-liter 16-valve turbo engine that made 212 horsepower and 232 foot-pounds of torque. The Evo 2 had some significant improvements over the Evo 1 and also sported some cool goodies, such as 16-inch light alloy wheels, a 3-spoke Momo steering wheel, and standard Recaro seats. Just like the R32 GTR we just talked about, the Delta Evo 2 was available for import last year, but 1994 was the final year of production, and with the final year came some really cool special editions. Some of these special editions included the Blue Lagos, the Club Lancia, and the Edizione Finale. These versions of the Delta Evo 2 came with some really cool added features, as well as some really cool paint colors and added livery options. So yeah, the Evo 2 is definitely one of my favorite rally cars of all time, and I'd love to own one at some point. And if you like the car too, this year might be your year. Well guys, that's it for my list of 5 cars you can import this year. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave it a like, and make sure to subscribe down below to stay up to date on all my latest videos. In the meantime, check out some of my other content because I post weekly content on this channel, so there's definitely a lot of stuff to look at. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, enjoy the road.